They say silence was their weapon. In the valley where no echo returns, explorers found carvings of mouths, closed and ears shaped like leaves. Birds gathered on the stones but never sang. The wind moved, but it didn't whistle. And when someone tried to speak, their own voice broke against the air and vanished like a swallowed note. The tribe that lived here never spoke a word in centuries of survival. They communicated through pulses in soil, rhythms in water, and frequencies the human ear once ignored. People call it superstition, but sensors placed there decades later caught something impossible: patterns beneath sound, repeating like syntax. If you listen past hearing, the ground hums, low, measured, almost like breathing. It's easy to imagine they were mute. They weren't. They simply built a language the rest of us can't join. A lexicon written in vibration and instinct, crafted to talk to the living world around them. Wolves howled on their cues. Birds changed flight on their pauses. And when the tribe vanished, the forest's rhythm changed too. Some call that coincidence. But to this day, the valley goes quiet right before storms, as if waiting for someone to finish a sentence lost in the soil. The people who settled here called themselves the Quiet Makers. Their oldest symbol isn't a weapon or a crown. It's an ear surrounded by roots. Generations carved it into every doorway and drum. Their belief was simple: the louder the world grows, the less it listens back. They noticed that animals reacted to pressure shifts before storms, to footsteps before sound, to heartbeats beneath soil. Over time, they trained their bodies to mirror that sensitivity, transforming listening into language. Imagine learning grammar from wind direction, punctuation from heartbeat intervals. They mapped vibrations into meanings. A triple thump underfoot meant gather. A single elongated hum in water meant danger upstream. They hollowed tree trunks to act as resonators, each tuned to a different pitch below human hearing. To speak, they stepped lightly or tapped soil with bare heels. The forest became their telephone. For outsiders, their silence was eerie. For them, it was security. They hunted by cooperation with wolves, guiding packs through infrasonic pulses. Birds migrated differently along their paths. Geese aligned with drumbeats that humans couldn't hear but animals could feel in bone. It wasn't magic. It was physics. Low-frequency vibration travels farther through earth than air. They discovered bioresonance centuries before the term existed. Their language wasn't lost in translation. It was lost in evolution. No civilization stays unheard forever. When iron traders arrived, they brought noise, hammering, shouting, wheels cutting into rock. The valley answered with silence sharper than anger. Machines jammed, echoes bent, compasses spun. The traders recorded journals describing nights when animals circled camps but never attacked, as if waiting for a signal. Then one morning, every footprint of their animals led outward in a perfect line. Their voices failed when they tried to call. Static ate their throats. The tribe had answered. In the ruins, scientists found cylindrical chambers carved under mossed stone. Each chamber vibrates at exactly 17 hertz, the same frequency linked to fear responses in mammals. The Quiet Makers built emotional messages into the ground itself. Speech through feeling. It wasn't intimidation. It was diplomacy in raw biology. To warn intruders, they made fear. To call their own, they made calm. But something went wrong. Seismic logs suggest a shallow quake centuries ago. The resonance chambers collapsed inward, amplifying instead of damping. Imagine an entire city humming at fear frequency for days. Animals fled. The tribe, attuned to those waves, may have been consumed by their own language. To communicate through the earth is to risk waking what sleeps there. After centuries, the valley became a scientific obsession. Geophysicists set seismic microphones to study minor tremors and picked up syntax, repeating intervals with predictable gaps, like consonants and vowels in vibration form. Patterns even adjusted when storms approached, suggesting responsive intelligence. Some believe the tribe's final act was transforming their consciousness into the land's resonance, a distributed organism speaking through pressure and frequency. The forest isn't haunted. It's inhabited by language itself, Modern experiments reveal infrasonic communication between elephants, whales, even trees releasing chemicals when roots sense vibration. The tribe tapped into this web. Each heartbeat, each footstep fed data into an ecosystem that replied. What we call instinct, they called conversation. Their city was less architecture and more acoustic wiring. Every pillar, root, and stream a conduit for emotion coded in rhythm. They didn't build temples. They built translators. When we replicate their tones with speakers today, nearby fauna still respond. Wolves lift heads, frogs fall silent, clouds seem to thicken. The resonance aligns water molecules, condenses mist. Nature listens still, perhaps expecting its original speakers to return. The tragedy is we replaced patience with volume. The quiet makers proved that survival favors listeners, not talkers. At sunset, the valley returns to silence, but instruments keep whispering. A pattern looping every 7 minutes, same as a human resting breath cycle. Maybe it's echo, maybe it's heartbeat, or maybe it's what remains of the tribe's conversation, still waiting for reply. Their last carving shows a mouth half open, not speaking, listening. Under it, for lines, to live with beasts, speak less. To live with gods, become echo. Their disappearance isn't extinction, it's adaptation. They slipped beneath our range, merging with the frequencies every creature already uses. The quiet makers didn't vanish. They became the background hum we filter out to hear ourselves. The next time your dog raises its head before thunder, or trees shiver though air is still, remember, something ancient is talking. Ask yourself, if language can live without words, how much of what we call progress is just louder forgetting? The valley still waits, teaching one final rule. Those who listen survive longer than those who shout. If the story resonated, stay with us. More tribes hid their intelligence in nature's code, waiting for humans to remember how to listen again.